what happens when we get you in here and you agree to do transcranial magnetic stimulation with us. So transcranial magnetic stimulation, just a little overview, was FDA approved in 2008 for depression. We also can use it for anxiety and OCD. There's a lot of other things it does too that we are working on and other doctors are working on that are not FDA approved yet, but I honestly believe this is the treatment of the future. So Jhonny has done this with us a couple courses and he's done very, very well. So he agreed to be a guinea pig so we could show people how it's done and try and take some of the mystery out of it so it's not so scary. All right, so when you come in, we're going to have you sit and we map you on the first day, which means that we figure out where the magnet's going to go and how strong it needs to be. So we do a lot of measurements. It's probably like making a wig. So trusty CC over here does a lot of measurements. You want to see how big your head is. We get a cap. The cap goes on your head because we're going to put a bunch of measurements on your head because that replicates putting the coil in the same spot as close as we can every time. That, or I tell people you can go and I can write it all on your head and you can't shower for 9 weeks. So most people elect for the cap. Jhonny's styling actually matched the cap to his outfit today.
Right?
So cute, Omar.
I feel like Esther Williams. Get me a swimming pool. So many people are not going to get that joke. Okay. So many.
So there's some landmarks we're looking for because that tells me where we're going to start. So the reason we're doing all these measurements is there is a landmark we look for that will kind of tell us where we're going to target the magnet. So there's different ways of doing this. Different machines and different companies have different ways. This is called the beam method, and it's a standard way to kind of look at where we can start with things. And this is what we've been doing for 6 years over here, and I feel it works really well. I think a lot of patients would agree. So you don't have to worry about all this. This is me, the doctor, and CC, the treater. We work on all the measurements. When we were first doing this, the first time you did it, what was going through your mind?
Honestly, wasn't I crying a lot?
Yeah, I think you were.
So I was thinking I just wanted this to work. Because I have a fear of electricity, so when you said that, putting something, I was like, oh boy, I'm either going to die from a nervous breakdown or it's going to work.
6.1. Yeah, and that happens a lot. So there's no judgment in that. Some people are sitting here thinking like, I'm this bad. Like I need some kind of experimental procedure to fix my brain. And this is not experimental. This is a fantastic treatment that I wish we could offer a lot quicker than we do.
Well, I wasn't going to come until You identified your address. The
Sure it wasn't sketch?
No, the first 3 digits of the building you were in are the first 3 digits of my residence.
Ah, okay.
425. That's come. I was like, okay, this is a sign. So what are the chances that my doctor's going to have the first 3 numbers of my residence on their building? So.
And look at where we are today.
Okay. Now they're going to fry my brain so you can see which side is the paper jumps on.
No fry.
This part I don't like. Oh, you want to move it one?
Yeah, so you can see it.
All right. So, when
Well, that's the case. I want you have to be in the middle.
Oh, I cannot put that in the chair. Move this one over.
You don't want to put a subject in the corners of a screen.
Go ahead, go ahead. Okay.
It's not as pretty.
Back up a little bit. Yeah. All right. So now I have kind of where I'm going to start, and this is the tool that helps me map. Okay, this is my little mapper. And what it does, it gives a little pulse. And what I'm looking for is for his hand to twitch, because that means I got the right spot and the right amount of stimulation. So there's a sweet spot of neurons I'm trying to hit in the frontal part of the brain. That's the ones that are underactive in depression and anxiety. That could be anywhere, and I try and get as precise as I can. So since I can't guess where it is, there's a landmark called a motor strip somewhere around here. And that's what I'm trying to look for, because 5.5 centimeters in front of that is my sweet spot of neurons. Okay, so that's what the mapping is about. And when I hit that motor strip, the part I want is the part that makes the hand twitch. Okay, so your brain is contralateral. The left side of the brain controls the right side of the body. Okay, that's why I'm on his left side and his right hand's going to twitch. You put a post-it note to make it a little
I can feel it.
There we go, there we go. There we go. You feel it? I tell people, don't make me mad, I'll make you dance. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'm a little bit different than other doctors because I go to an annual conference every year, Trace, and they have taught originally to give the least amount of stimulation possible to make a twitch. But what I was taught is that we were probably underdosing people. So I make you have a little more of an exaggerated pulse.
She didn't say that in the release forms, by the way.
There's things that I can do when we actually got you in here and there's real one. Because everybody's different.
It doesn't hurt people. I'm very nervous. I hate these things.
So, now that I've mapped that side, I want to do the other side, so I'm going to tap the right side of the brain, and the left side is my twitch. You doing okay, Johnny?
Mm-hmm. For someone I was lied to. Yeah.
There we go. See his hand twitching?
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. There we go. So that one's 68.
I will take this and choose one of my other.
You said I was coming for cookies. I'm just kidding. I'm
Do it.
kidding. I'm kidding.
We're out here.
Are they moist?
Anything you want.
We're all getting arrested before this video is over.
The style.
Okay, this video is easy. Cut it out.
We never do this.
What is that?
All right. Johnny can pop up on the dental chair where the treatment happens.
The magic.
maybe
The
move the
magic.
chair. Let me move the chair first.
Right? She's gonna break our machine already.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to record me.
Oh, perfect.
So I'm gonna do a side-by-side video of last year.
Okay. Now that we have that, so now we're going to do an actual treatment session. And so we're a little different in this clinic. So what happens is if you do get treatment for most of the clinics, they will treat the left side of the head, which is for depression. Here, I was taught to treat the right side, which is the anxiety side. And I feel like we should do both together because if you treat just your depression, that kind of flatness goes away, and what's left is your anxiety. And that tends to get higher because there's not that flatness for the depression. So bilateral treatment is kind of how I do it. I also just opened a clinic in California, and that's how we do it up there. And people that have come over have said, wow, I never had the right side treated. So it's just a very, I think, an essential thing that needs to be added, but unfortunately, a lot of insurance companies don't pay for this treatment, and if they do, they only pay for one side. Okay, so she lines it up. And it kind of rests on your head, okay, but we shouldn't be crushing your skull, so we always encourage the person to tell us if something's uncomfortable. We start off low. This is like PT for the brain, so we don't want you to lift 100 pounds today. We want to start off small and gradually work up. And so I tell people, when we hit the start button, you're going to feel this like on your head. Okay? Ready? So it's quiet at the lower frequencies, and then as we start to increase the strength, it gets a little louder. So we start off small, work our way up. We check in with the person. Okay? He says he's okay. Now, what we shouldn't have is any twitching of the hands, because that means we're too close to that motor strip. Okay? Now we just use that as a landmark, because remember, we're about 5.5 centimeters in front. And that's our sweet spot of neurons. These are the neurons that have been sleeping, so they're not releasing our neurotransmitters. So we're telling them, wake up, start to release, so that we can help with our depression and anxiety. Okay, if somebody's tolerating, we go up.
Raise the glass. Yes.
You okay, John? We go up?
Okay.
Just don't go past 30, remember.
Right.
30 is like my limit.
Okay.
I remember that much.
Okay. So different people have different preferences. What the FDA has cleared is that we're supposed to get to 120 of that threshold. So what this took, plus 20%. Not everybody gets there. If you're doing fine at a lower level like Jhonny has, we're not going to push it. That's the main thing. If somebody is not getting better because they cannot get higher, we can adjust and do a different protocol. That's longer, but it's a little lighter. So this one now is called a theta burst. So it's about 4 minutes, and it's kind of giving a lot of pulses in there and telling the neurons to wake up. Now you're awake when you do this. There's no sedation. We kind of engage people, so, you know, staff and I, we kind of do a little mini therapy with people. It's always good to have like some cheerleaders to find out what happened yesterday or how's life going. What's not going on in life? We get it. You know, we don't judge you. We have our own demons that we deal with. New demons pop up, old ones we conquer. So it's just us to know, like, we're with you along the way.
What number is this?
24. Feel it?
Yeah,
Yes.
you can go stronger if you want to.
Okay. We try to tailor it to the person. Some people like to control it and say you can go up, you can go up. Other people like surprise me. I don't want to know what's going on.
This is a good number.
Okay. And on the first day, like Johnny's a pro, so he's done this a couple times. The first day, people look petrified because they're not sure what's happening. So we're just trying to tell them all we're doing is just waking up neurons. This is, you know, our whole body is made with energy and action potential, so that's what this is. It's just waking it up. This is a very, very safe treatment. I have done this treatment. My staff has done this treatment. I have done this on my mother and father. I love my mom and dad, so I wouldn't do anything bad for them. So it's very, very safe. FDA approved down to age 15. We've gone younger than that because medications they're tough. And the younger we get them, a lot of times there's some side effects. We do need them in some cases, but if there's something more natural and we can just hit to the source of the brain, why not? So we've got about 50 seconds left, and then after that, we're going to switch to the other side. So when you treat depression, things are underactive. This is an excitatory protocol. It's waking things up. When we switch to the right side, it's an inhibitory protocol, so it's kind of calming it down. So it tends to feel very different. And I like to ask people, like, what feels better? Like, which side? Majority have their answer, but I would like to ask the person so it's not biased. And if you were going to describe this finding to people, like, what does it feel like to you?
What does it feel like?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. Best scenario. like just someone's tapping on your head that has a fingernail.
Okay.
That's the best way I can
Okay.
put it. It doesn't hurt. There's no pain involved. There's an awkward feeling, but there's no pain at all.
Yeah. The usual answer is woodpecker in your head.
Woodpeckers are good.
Woodpecker one. Some people, I thought it felt like a TENS machine, like a muscle stimulator on your head. Once in a great while, we have head massage. Someone feels like it's someone scratching their head. We do kind of work with go gentle, but it's an odd sensation. You don't have something on your head giving some stimulation. Okay? So this is the right side. This is also about 4 minutes. And what I like to do is when we're getting anxiety, I like to light up that pathway. I want somebody to start to think about something that makes them anxious, something that they just don't want to think about, because I want them to do it with us. Because as that pathway is lighting up, we're going to hit it with the magnet and calm it down. Ready? Johnny, what's something that makes you anxious?
Sitting in a chair.
Sitting in a chair. Oh, I heard you're going to go to Pride Week, and traffic is that traffic something you like, or do you get anxious in traffic?
Traffic does make me anxious.
Yeah, it makes you anxious.
It does.
What about the traffic? What's wrong with traffic?
Not moving.
You got to move?
It doesn't move.
Doesn't
Like,
move?
if I don't leave here in time today, the traffic won't move. You have to wait for the cops to allow us off the highway. Because they're closing Kalakaua and they're closing 2 streets on Omana Boulevard at Kalakaua.
Okay. All right.
So I gotta get there before that. I get stressed out. I've got text at home.
Okay. All right. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're stuck. It's going to take you extra time.
The worst that'll happen?
Yeah.
The AC goes out in the car.
It's a good thing we live in Hawaii. Crack open the windows, brother. Right?
Right.
It's not winter. That's good. Right? Because you'll pivot, right?
Yeah.
Have you pivoted a lot in life?
Well, it depends which career we're talking about.
That's a hard yes. Right? Was that one of the hardest pivots in life, your career?
Yeah, when you have, especially when all the productions and TV shows here just packed up and left. So it left like 10,000 of us without any work.
How'd you handle that?
I went to Whole Foods.
Okay. And that's where you work now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
20% off.
20% off.
20% off.
Okay. All right. Do you like where you're at now?
Yeah. In life and in my work. I'm in a good place. I'm in a very good place.
You have to go through the rough to get to the eye of the storm.
I'm just glad I didn't have to go through Spravato. I'm not saying anything bad about the drug, I'm just saying I didn't want to have to take it. And I'm glad that this stopped it before it got that bad.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, you wanted medication free. Okay.
A commercial that gets up suicide.
Yeah. So it's like all that hype, all the negativity you went through, and you pivoted. And look at today. You've done, I think this is your second testimony of that. Who knew how long ago, when we connected, this is where we'd be, right?
I knew something good was going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, look at the pivot with this, right? We're in a whole new office. This is not what I expected. But you got to pivot with life.
You got the studio apartment, now you're in a mansion.
Fingers crossed, right? I think this is the way it's supposed to be. All right.
Beating of patience.
Yeah. All right. And that's it. So left side has been treated, right has been treated. What side did you prefer feeling-wise on your head?
I felt stronger on this side of my left.
Okay. All right.
This
If you had
one
to pick
felt a lot lighter.
lighter, okay, a little more gentle. Most people like the right side because it is hitting anxiety, and anxiety is uncomfortable, so it brings it down.
No, I like them both equally. I don't have a
Yes, both.
preference, which is, they're doing their job together.
Okay. All right. But that's the treatment. So then after that, we take off the cap, we store that. When he comes back, we put the cap on. Measurements have all been done. They replicate doing the same thing. 36 times is what's FDA approved and recommended. But sometimes we gotta work on things because life happens. People get sick or transportation's an issue. We should try and work with you on that. All right. That's it. Thank you.